Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz. I am your host Amir Naik, and today we kickstart things with a comparison story between executive sedans. The Honda Civic is the new entrant to the executive sedan segment, and of course there are already established players there. So how does it fare against its rivals? Well, we put it to the test against the Corolla Altis and the Skoda Octavia. Over the last few years, the mid-size sedan segment hasn't quite been the high growth space it once used to be. But with the coming of the new generation Civic in India, things are looking up, at least for now. No doubt the Civic brand name has a rather strong recall and is also Honda's best-selling model worldwide. But does it set a benchmark in this segment?
The 10th generation Honda Civic was launched in India about a couple of months ago, and it did shake up things in the rather dominant executive sedan segment. In fact, Honda Cars India has already received 2,400 bookings in just 40 days since the car's launch. Could it be that the car is riding a wave of nostalgia, or the fact that the new Civic gets a diesel engine as well, which is contributing to the sales of the car? Or is it really that good? We put it to test alongside the Skoda Octavia and the Toyota Corolla Altis.
We have the top spec diesel variants of all the cars in this comparison. This is the first time that the Civic gets a diesel engine, and therefore a comparison in this segment was exactly what the doctor ordered. The Civic returns to India after a gap of 7 years. The last model to be sold in India was the 8th generation model, and Honda skipped the 9th gen for India. But the 10th generation Civic looks downright gorgeous and is easily the most modern looking sedan amongst the trio here. The upswept headlamps along with the bold chrome strip on the grille and the low hood gives the car a sporty stance. The front end design is complemented beautifully by the sloping roof at the rear, which gives the Civic a coupe-like silhouette. The C-shaped tail lamps emphasize a distinct rear, possibly the car's best side. The Corolla has a sharp design with its V-shaped grille, sculpted hood and that sports car-like front bumper with multiple slats. While the Octavia is more about understated elegance with its typical European design bits such as the quad headlamps and the strong character lines. Both cars have been around for a while now, and with midlife facelifts, they are simply no match for the sexy, desirable styling of the new generation Civic. So round 1 goes to the Honda Civic then.
The sporty demeanor of the Civic's exterior has been carried inside the cabin as well. The dashboard design is slightly layered, it has a busy look to it, and these bits of silver and leather, of course they add to the premium look of the car, but then the quality and the fit and finish is not exactly top notch. You have a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system with smartphone connectivity. The instrument console is divided into 3 sections and it looks quite sporty. The steering feels good to hold and it houses control for audio, Bluetooth, telephony and the cruise control. Also, we really like the low driving position and the seats are very well bolstered.
This is where the Octavia trumps the Civic and the Corolla. The two-tone interior is neater and the dashboard is uncluttered. Plus, it adds to the sense of space as well. The instrument console too feels easier on the eye, and the 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system feels more intuitive and of course gets smartphone connectivity too. The fit and finish inside is excellent, but the seats are slightly firmer. And the Octavia scores less on practicality in terms of cubby holes and storage spaces.
The interior of the Corolla is quite airy and the glass area is quite good too. The seats are very comfortable. In fact, the Corolla is the only car in this comparison which gets a flat floor at the rear, which means more space for your feet. But then, there are some glaring omissions as far as features are concerned. There is no rear AC vents, there's no one-touch upside down for the windows, and the Corolla doesn't get a sunroof either.
The overall design of the cabin inside the Corolla Altis is quite dated, and the fit and finish along with the quality of materials leave a lot to be desired. And very surprisingly, in the diesel version of the Corolla Altis, there is no infotainment system. There is no 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system as the petrol Altis gets, which we think is a very glaring omission. All three cars are spacious enough to seat 5 people. The Civic's sloping roofline at the rear does eat into the headroom, and thanks to its low-slung design, ingress could be a hassle. The Octavia gets maximum knee room at the rear and also the biggest boot, which can gobble up 590 litres worth of luggage. While the Corolla is also spacious, but it also gets the most dated interior of the 3 sedans here. All cars get driver and passenger airbags as standard, while the Civic gets front side airbags as standard as well. Also, it gets a lane watch camera, which eliminates any blind spots when you put the left side indicator. The Civic also gets a reverse camera as standard. The Octavia too gets dual and side airbags as standard, while the top spec L and K variant comes with side and curtain airbags as well. The Corolla Altis gets the least equipment of 3 cars. Since there is no infotainment system, the car doesn't get a reverse camera, nor does it feature any parking sensors. So let's get the numbers straight out of the way. Is the Octavia, which has the most powerful engine. It's a 2-litre unit and it belts out 141 brake horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. The Civic gets a 1.6-litre diesel, which pumps out 118 brake horsepower and 300 Nm of torque. The Corolla's numbers feel woefully less here in this company. It gets a 1.4-litre diesel, which generates merely 87 brake horsepower and 205 Nm of torque. Both Japanese cars get a 6-speed manual gearbox with no automatic option.
Straight away, the best thing about the diesel engine on the new Honda Civic is the wave of torque. It's spread evenly across the rev range. The car builds up speed quickly from 2000 RPM, and it does so in a grin-inducing way. It makes you smile. Complementing the performance of the car is the sharp handling. The steering itself is very well weighted and it quickly reacts to handling inputs and throttle inputs. Also, the ride quality on the new Civic is very supple. Any irregularity on the tarmac is taken care of easily. There's just one concern, which is actually a mild one, is that the engine is not that refined as the cars which we have on the test here with us. And also the NVH levels could have been slightly better.
The Corolla Altis is a world away when it comes to performance. Sure, the 1.4-litre engine is smooth, but it lacks the outright punch that the other 2 cars make. Also, a car in this segment ought to make BHP in triple digits. The low-end torque is also not in the same league as other 2 cars in the segment. Although we do like the ride quality on the Corolla Altis, and the handling too is pretty decent.
The Skoda Octavia has the most powerful engine among the 3 cars that we have here. The engine itself is quite smooth, very creamy, and the power delivery is the absolute best. Plus, The 6-speed DSG gearbox is very precise and it holds on to the gears when you want to go fast. In most cases, overtaking only requires you to prod the throttle. The steering is slightly dead. It feels slightly lifeless when compared to that of the Civic, which means if you want to drive the car yourself, the Civic is the better option, although the Octavia comes very close.
All three cars get a 1.8-litre petrol engine too. The Octavia's petrol engine can either be paired with a 6-speed manual or a slick 7-speed DSG automatic gearbox. The Civic petrol gets only a CVT gearbox with no manual option. Toyota offers an optional 7-step CVT or a 6-speed manual transmission unit. To recap it all, the Corolla has the least amount of features, least powerful engine, and looks dated too. The prices for the diesel variant start at 17,71,000 rupees, and the Corolla is definitely not a value for money proposition at that price. The Civic is easily the best looking car in the segment. It has great driving dynamics and gets a decent feature list, and the top spec ZX variant that tested is priced at 22,30,000 rupees. The Corolla will score in after sales for sure and is a no-brainer as a chauffeur-driven car for many. But the difference between it and the other two is just too stark, especially at the top end. We had the Skoda Octavia diesel in the top spec L&K guys, and it is priced at almost 26 lakh rupees. Yes, it is significantly more expensive than the Corolla Altis and the Civic, but with its great build quality, terrific drivetrain, good drive dynamics, sophisticated looks and a long list of features, it wins the comparison by the slightest of margins. The car is equally desirable should you want to drive or be driven. The Honda Civic falls tantalizingly short and is almost at par with the Octavia, but loses out marginally on engine performance and fit and finish, along with a slightly shorter list of features.
Well, let's take a break now, and on the other side, a lot more coming. So stay tuned. Welcome back to CNB Bazaar Buzz. I am your host Amir Naik, and now we take a look at something that is, well, electric. Yes, that's a buzzword now, electric. But it's not a car. It's not. It's not a bike. Sort of. It's something on two wheels, and well, I'll surprise you with it. Here it is. It's from GoZero, and here what it's all about.
Electric mobility is all set to be the next big thing, and the electric two-wheeler segment is likely to see a lot of action. And one such latest player in the market is UK-based GoZero Mobility, which has launched 2 new electric bikes in India. These are not electric motorcycles, but more like bicycles with electric motors.
GoZero has entered the Indian market with launch of these 2 bikes, the Mile and the One. Mile is aimed towards more daily commute use, while the One is their flagship model and will be used for off-road purposes.
The GoZero Mile is designed for commuting within the city. It is powered by a 300 Wh battery with a claimed range of 45 km on a single charge. The second model, the GoZero One, is designed for rugged off-road use. It gets a slightly bigger 400 Wh battery and also claims more range, 60 km on a single charge. The GoZero One also gets fatter rubber and a slightly tweaked front shock absorber for the over rough terrain. What is common on both these e-bikes are disc brakes, cruise control and a small display screen. And of course, if you use only the pedals like a conventional bicycle, there are pedal assist modes which work in conjunction with the electric motor to help you. The battery packs are swappable, which means you can take them off the bikes and plug them into regular power sockets for charging. quite similar to charging your phone, and the company says it only takes 2.5 hours to charge the battery completely.
Both these bikes are equipped with a screen which gives you all sort of information which is required. For instance, you get the power information along with the speed and odometer. Finally, coming to the pricing, the one which is their flagship model has been priced at 32,999 rupees, and the Mile, which is the commuter model, has been priced at 29,999 rupees.
Both the bikes will go on sale in India from April 1 and will be first sold in the metro cities. That said, GoZero will not leave the small towns unattended. It is planning to have 80 sales touchpoints across India this year and will also have 18 company-owned dealerships where customers will be allowed to test ride the bikes.
Well, you were surprised, we were surprised too to see electric bicycles coming to India. And well, one more surprise coming your way is this one from Volkswagen India. It's been 10 years since the Chakan plant has been functional and producing cars. And now it's produced its 1 millionth car. And we had the privilege to go to the Chakan plant and actually see the car roll out. So here's what that was all about.
"2019 is a big year for Volkswagen India. Its motorsport arm celebrates 10 years, and in fact so does its production plant in Chakan, Pune. It was in 2009 that the company kick-started production at the Chakan plant, and now, 10 years later, it's crossed a big milestone.
Today there's another big occasion in Chakan where we are celebrating together the 1 millionth car being produced in this fantastic facility. And the car which is rolling out of our sedan 8, how we call it, is a Nameo. And that's the reason for it. It's been the proof of our commitment to the Indian country, because it's an Indianized product which we sell only here, which has been designed and engineered here in India. And it's really an amazing number. We sold now more than 50,000 cars in that country.
The plant has been the manufacturing hub for cars like the Fabia, Vento, Polo, Rapid, and even the Made for India Amio. Exports from the Pune plant began in 2012, with South Africa being the first market. Mexico too went on to become a very important export market for the company. Today, more than 4 lakh manufactured from the Volkswagen Pune plant have reached more than 50 different countries across 4 continents of the world, including Asia, Africa, North America and South America. With the India 2.0 strategy in place, an investment of 7,900 crore rupees by the Volkswagen Group, the Pune plant will become the production hub for the new gen vehicles from 2020.
Well, it was actually a very emotional roller coaster ride at the Chakan plant, because there were people who have been with the company from day one, and they were almost in tears looking at the car, come out and see it roll out. And it was a 1 millionth car, and that too a made for India car, engineered here and also sold here. So big moment for Volkswagen India, and we were glad that we could be part of it. Well, that's it for this show. Hope you enjoyed it. We always love packaging all those stories around for you and bringing it to you. So if you have any feedback to offer, do write us on carandbike.com, or you have your social handles. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even on YouTube. So you can find us there and let us know what you thought about the show. Well, that's it then from me. And when you're driving, always wear your seatbelts. When you're riding, always wear your helmets. See you next time.